What is up, y'all? It is your boy EC2, and I've made a brief return to talk about why I think Rosa's ground movement is pretty darn neat. She probably has my favorite ground movement in the entire game. She's just very capable of switching in between each of the phases of the options that she has at her disposal. Uh, as far as her dash, her extended dash stance, her run, because of her skid. Uh, and generally, she's just a very capable character when moving across the ground. In comparison to a lot of other characters, I don't feel the need that in order to change my positioning or make my position better, I have to leave the ground or have my feet. I can always keep my feet on the floor when I'm moving around with Rosa, which helps because Rosa is a particularly floaty character, and this is not a character that I'd be very keen on jumping a whole lot with. So, having all this combined with her other qualities, such as her speed, which is about average. She's a little bit faster than Mario, Ryu, and Bayonetta, making it so that while she's not exactly fast, she's in the average category because of her defensive archetype. And the other point I was going to make, which is her traction being very low. So when you hit her shield, she is very good at holding her ground, which very good, considering that she's a character that likes to turtle center stage more often than not, especially in matchups like this. Uh, but combining that with her speed, being able to lock on to openings made in the opponent's pressure or the opponent trying to get in and such like that, it makes her ground movement very complementary. Makes her better than what she could have been if they just uh, made her slow. So I'm gonna go over all of her options on the ground and uh, why I think she has very, very good ground mobility. So let's start off with the option that probably already would use if you're a Rosalina player, and that is her dash. Her dash is very lagless. uh, she does not have very much lag. Obviously, you can see I have the training mode on. You can see how much lag she has when she ends, and when that ends, that means you can act again, and you basically can just go back and forth seamlessly. A lot of other characters cannot do this. I know Rosa has the ability to use as well. Cloud also has the abilities as well. Kind of imitates the effect that an extended dash dance would give for a lot of the characters. So the ease of use for this makes it more practical to use, and it makes her mix-ups when she does every now and then does approach and close in on the opponent. It makes those more effective because you can dash in and out. And this is also mostly used when the opponent is landing back to the ground. You're able to imply what direction you're going. Of course, the fundamental application of mobility is to make your next your next option ambiguous, your next action. And being able to mix this up when your opponent's landing to the ground to get them to bait them into choosing a particular drift, so they can obviously protect themselves from landing into big bad mean Rosa. It makes that much more effective, and once again, it complements the archetype of the character that she is. You also have your vanilla neutral mix-up, which is dash grab and dash attack. And dash attack is very good for a mix-up like this, is because her hitbox is very large when she closes in with dash attack. She doesn't even touch Cloud there, so that's pretty good. Mixing between those combined with the fact that she does have a good dash grab. Once again, very complementary to the style character she is. Just general good tool to have. And then you have those options in conjunction with the other movement options that I'm about to show you next. And those are, first off, we got extended dash dance. Her extended dash dance is pretty easy to do. As you can see, it covers less distance and is faster than her regular dash. So you can do things like this. Alters the timing, makes it a little bit faster, picks up the pace. harder to react to, can catch the opponent off guard. Use this in matches myself. Does have some pretty good applications as far as mix-ups are concerned. So yeah, feel free to use it every now and then if you want to trip your opponent up with a faster option. This can also be used when your opponent is landing back to the ground as well. If your opponent gets a little bit too close to the ground for you to rebound with a regular dash. So it is reactionary purposes for falling landings. So yeah, that's generally good. And then my favorite one, it's her run. So you don't have to use your dash to be lagless, which is good because it's hard to really it's hard to, like in Melee where you can you're able to do it so fast and alter the distance so much with characters like Marth that you're able to traverse the stage and affect the distance of it in significant ways. You can't really do it by a significant margin in this game. At least you can't do it to much effect. It doesn't really do anything as far as like a movement mix-up is concerned. Like you see her max range dash compared to her short range dash, there's not too much of a difference to really write home about. But because her run, let me turn back on the mod. Because of her run has almost no lag whatsoever. So you're able to do this into all of your other options and transition into using regular dash. Just go after your opponent and stop to a complete halt when you want to close any sort of distance or change your position in general. And that's very good because it allows you to not have to shield, doesn't let you not have to jump, doesn't allow you to have to do any of that stuff. You can just stop and boom, you've changed your position successfully. And it makes things more the ease of access to being able to move around with her on the ground. And now all three of those options in conjunction with things like perfect pivots, especially perfect pivots. I like to perfect pivot back to center stage in order to create distance between me and the opponent. So I don't have to turn back and face my back to my opponent. Also, it's shorter, so I don't have to change it by much. Very good when you have to microspace for a lot of options that would be used in a close range like this. For instance, Cloud would have short back air. Microspace that, potentially get yourself a whiff punish, something along the lines of that. Then you also have your other options like jab, stop up, jab, stop up, crawl back, down tilt. Oh yeah, crawl. Crawl's pretty neat too. Her crawl's weird, in the sense that I'm pretty sure all the other crawls work like this. You can't immediately move backwards out of your crawl, which is odd. I don't know why that is. But one way I found around it so I can still retreat naturally out of my crawl, I have to use crawl back because crawl back is pretty slow. I have, can do, it's the same input as using it instead of dash dash. You can dash forward and input dash back before the dash takes off. So that's an option. You have to move backwards. You can also move forward a little bit in perfect pivot. Oh my bad, there we go. So you have that option for you to move back. So I'm trying to use that so I can use crawl more often because obviously when what I like about crawl is that when she uses crawl, she's low profile. Like it looks like her hurt box is damn near half. Like you can fact check me on that. It's probably not the case, but when she becomes low profile, Luma becomes low profile as well. It extends the range of down tilt when I feel the need to use it. Although with jab, Luma stays low when jab activates. I'm pretty sure higher Luma jab is more liable to beat stuff, so it's probably better, but I digress. So you have your crawl, that's also very, very good, because I want to close in, change my positioning when I want to use down tilt and such like that. So I think that's generally all of it. So there's probably other things I have not explained to the effect that I want to, but that's okay. I just want you to explore all the other movement options that Rosa has at her disposal. Once again, she has all these options. She has jab, all of her ground moves basically, all of her tilts, notably down tilt. She has her jab, she's perfect pivot back. She has her walk. Her walk. What I like about her walk is that Rosalina's walk is ambiguous coming out of her dash. So you can potentially catch people wanting to do things like if they see Rosalina dash and condition them, so they can want to act. Like they want to jump, you space out of the range, you can whiff punish a tilt or something, and such like that. If you use her dash, or even if you have them shielding because you're using dash attack a lot, you can bait them into doing an action that you can punish thereafter because you'll be out of the range, or you can react or call out something like a full hop or a short hop or something like that. Rosa really likes it when her opponent's feet are off the floor because that's just the kind of character she is. Just a Joe character up there, super good. So yeah, I really like walk as an option. There's a lot of possibilities. Maybe I'll go into further detail one day about how I personally use all these options and have examples of all the mix-ups that you have out of them. But the point I want to drive home is that I want you guys to try these out for yourself. Of course, I'm obviously not breaking new ground or anything. I'm not I'm not like in any way like super hardcore pushing the Rosa in a metagame or something like that. But I do want people to be aware of these because I think, in my opinion, that if you try to push even the obscure and impractical uses of your character's options, especially with something like movement, you make the practical uses of your character's options even more instinctive. So I encourage you guys to try things out, such as using her extended dash dance, even excessively if it means if that's what it takes, in order to get a better feel of how this character's options can be used. Because there could be in a situations at some point or a minute interaction to where you make any of these decisions, any of these small decisions, and it makes them that much better because you had the it was within your ability to do it. So always try to maximize your option select is basically the point that I'm trying to drive home. And that's about it. And I will see you guys in another video. Potentially, maybe, sorta, kinda, hopefully. Goodbye.